son called this heart work, and it is hard heart work. But we're so grateful that you're here to bear witness, because when we talk about healing, that's part of it. And I would like to now reintroduce Kaya Alice to share with us about this theme of healing today. Thank you, Kaya Alice.
Thank you, Debbie. So when we first gathered and we were talking about what kind of theme that we wanted our event to be based around, and at that time there's a lot of so much hate and anti this, anti that, and so we wanted to step away from negative, and so we all agree that healing is where we need to go, is the next step, because the effects of the traumas inflicted on groups of people because of their race linger on the souls of their descendants. As a result, many people in these same communities experience higher rates of mental and physical illness, substance abuse, and erosion of families and community structures. The persistence cycle of trauma destroys family and communities and threatens the vibrancy of entire cultures. To move forward, healing needs to begin. I'd like to introduce two of my Kano'ole and United Indians team members, Addy and Hio.
Thank you, Kaya Alice, for those words. I'd like to begin with just being honest about my position in coming into this work. When I was asked to speak about healing, I was nervous, not because public speaking is intimidating, but because I feel imposter syndrome. I feel unsure about how to properly represent United Indians, as well as portray an accurate idea of what Indigenous healing looks like. I do not come from a family who kept our traditional practices alive, but that doesn't mean that we do not have the ability to heal ourselves or our family. As a people who experience much trauma through colonial expression, trauma that is both systematic and individual, in order to heal, we must learn how to identify and acknowledge the hurt that we carry with us if we're beginning to understand it. This will look different for everybody, because for many of us, that means that we have to confront something deep inside of ourselves to actually move on. Many people run from their pain, pushing their trauma to the back of their mind, but just like a broken bone, if you don't set it right at the beginning, you will not heal properly and it'll always hurt. For me personally, that meant accepting my trauma had happened to me. It happened to my ancestors and to my relatives alive today. And then I was no longer running away from my problems, but rather I was running with them. And what does that mean? Well, for me, running with my problems means that I acknowledge that I am not yet okay, but I can actively work towards that while I'm owning and accepting what happened to me. Avoiding your pain only allows for it to come back later in a different form. So I am learning that it is okay to hold on to my pain until I'm ready to let it go. No one else has or will feel this for me, so only I know what is right. I ask myself, what is appropriate practices for me to participate in as an Indigenous person? And what does that look like for me based off of my lived experiences? And ask yourself, what does that healing look like for you? Some healing looks like staying sober. Some healing looks like healing, it just being with their children, learning your language, feeding your family. For some, healing looks like just taking a long walk outside to connect with nature. Healing can be simple self-care, a bath, a dance, or having a meaningful conversation. Whatever it may be, healing has to come from within inside yourself, with intentions for yourself. Personal healing for me looks like staying 1.5 years sober from alcohol, and I'm learning about myself and learning to love myself. I'm learning to forgive myself and others, meditation, and confiding into loved ones. A major part of my process of acceptance is where I'm at and that I do not have to stay at that place. So often we hear about generational trauma, but we also need to talk about intergenerational wisdom and healing. We carry that more than the pain of our ancestors within us, and we need to remember that. We should also learn how to be aware of our positions in the greater healing process. For instance, in many cultures, the community will turn to the matriarchy for guidance, wisdom, and healing. And often it's the elders and the two-spirit people who are regarded as the medicine people in their communities. And this is not by accident. Certain experiences allow for these members to realize the role that they play in the bigger picture. And men have a specific healing path that will look different from many others, but we do need to uplift each other in the process. And healers can carry many scars as well as wounds and are still healing themselves. However, sometimes the best way to help yourself is to help others understanding their own path. I believe that no one can truly heal you but yourself. Even doctors need this understanding from their patients in order to better facilitate the process. Healers can only advise and guide you on your journey, and it is up to you to take those steps. We must understand our intentions to heal our relationships. This includes our relationships with ourselves. If we want our people to be better, we have to want to be better for ourselves first. All life is bound together. So when I heal myself, I'm healing my community. And when I heal my community, I'm healing the world. Now, there's a quote that I want to end this off with. And I always think about this when I think about where we come from and our current and next generation of Indigenous youth. It goes like this. They thought they could bury us, but they didn't know that we were seeds. It's time to rise, hijos de maíz. And hijos de maíz means children of the corn, children of the sun. As Indigenous people, we all have the potential to rise, and sometimes we just need a little bit of light. So I want to thank you all, and I want to pass this to my brother Hio.